Imagine you are walking through an ancient forest. No steel, no fire in your hand, no walls behind you, just wet leaves, cold air, and something watching from the dark. You hear one sound, a crow, then another, then 10. The forest explodes above you. Black shapes twist through the branches. They are not singing. They are warning, or maybe accusing. Your first thought is simple. A predator is nearby. A wolf, a leopard, a giant eagle, something with teeth, something with claws. So you freeze. You look for the killer. But then you see the impossible. The killer is the one running. A powerful hawk cuts away from the trees. A fox lowers its head and slips into the brush. Even a big cat may abandon its hidden meal when the black birds arrive. The false answer is obvious. Crows are fearless. They are brave little birds attacking monsters. But that is not the truth. The truth is colder. Crows are not trying to be brave. They are doing math. Ancient math. Survival math. The kind of math that existed long before humans built villages, long before kings, long before written language, maybe even before our ancestors understood why the birds were screaming. To a prehistoric human, the wild looked simple. Big animals ruled, small animals hid. Teeth meant power. Claws meant death. Wings meant escape. That was the easy version of nature. But nature has never been easy. Because every ancient human eventually learned a stranger rule. Sometimes the largest predator in the forest could be stopped by a bird small enough to hold in 2 hands. Not killed, not defeated in battle. Stopped, delayed, exposed, embarrassed, forced to leave. That is the secret behind crow intelligence. They do not need to win the fight. They only need to make the fight too expensive. Picture a red-tailed hawk resting near a nesting tree. It is built like a weapon. Its eyes can track movement from far away. Its talons are curved knives. Its body is made for impact. Against one crow, the hawk looks unbeatable. That is the false answer. One hawk beats one crow. But crows almost never ask that question. They ask a better one. What happens when one crow becomes 20? One call cuts through the air. Another crow answers. Then another. The hawk is no longer facing a meal. It is facing a crowd. A loud crowd. A moving crowd. A crowd that attacks from behind. The hawk can strike, but every strike costs energy. Every turn exposes its eyes. Every dive risks a wing. And even if it catches one crow, the others keep coming. So the hawk leaves. Not because it is weak, because it is calculating. This was not just important for crows. It may have mattered to us. Ancient humans were not always hunters at the top. For most of our deep past, we were meat with clever hands. We had soft skin, slow children, weak jaws, no claws, no wings. A human alone in the Pleistocene was not a ruler. A human alone was a question. Would you survive the night? Would you hear danger before it heard you? Would you know when to move? This is where birds like crows become more than background noise. A crow alarm could reveal a hidden predator. A sudden mob could point toward a leopard in the grass. A black cloud circling one patch of forest could mean a carcass, or a threat, or both. To an ancient human, that sound was not random. It was information. The forest was speaking, and crows were some of its loudest messengers. But the deeper reveal is even stranger. Crows were not only warning each other, They were remembering. A predator that raids a nest does not just attack once. It becomes a known enemy. The bird survives. It tells others. The group reacts faster next time. The young learn the pattern. The danger becomes a story. Not a human story, a crow story, passed through calls, behavior, attention, a shape in the sky, a face on the ground, a route through the trees. This is where brute force starts to fail. A bobcat can overpower a bird, but it cannot erase being remembered. A wolf can snap at one crow, but it cannot silence every witness above it. An eagle can crush bone, but it cannot stop the forest from knowing where it is. Memory turns the predator into a target. That was an ancient kind of power. Not muscle power, network power. And early humans understood network power better than almost any animal. We survived because we could tell each other things. Do not drink there. The lions pass at dusk. The herd moves after rain. That valley is dangerous. Those berries kill. A single human memory could die. A group memory could become culture. Crows were doing their own version of this, not with myths, not with cave paintings, but with attention and alarm. That is why the crow feels so strange in human history. It appears around death, battlefields, carcasses, hunting grounds, empty trees, winter camps. Humans saw crows near bodies and thought they belonged to darkness, but maybe our ancestors feared them for another reason. Crows knew things. They knew where the dead were. They knew where predators fed. They knew who was dangerous. They knew which animal should be followed and which one should be driven away. This is the onion peeling open. At first, the crow looks like a scavenger. Then it looks like a bully. Then it looks like a lookout. Then it becomes something more unsettling. A judge. Not a moral judge, a survival judge. It decides what you are. Harmless, useful, dangerous, worth ignoring, worth following, worth attacking. That decision can change everything. A raven may follow wolves because wolves open carcasses. The wolf's teeth become tools. The bird waits for the flesh to be exposed. Both animals benefit. But a hawk near a nest is different. That hawk is not useful. It is a future tragedy. So the birds attack. This is not fear. This is strategy. The same intelligence can create alliance or war. That is what makes corvids so powerful. They do not react to predator status. They react to predator value. Useful predator, tolerate it. Dangerous predator, punish it. Confusing predator, test it. That kind of flexible thinking is ancient, and it is the kind of thinking that helped shape the world our ancestors moved through. Imagine a small band of early humans watching ravens circle above a valley. The young ones see only birds. The elders see a signal. Maybe wolves found something. Maybe a mammoth calf died. Maybe a cave lion is feeding. Maybe there is meat. Maybe there is danger. Both can be true. That is the cruel logic of survival. Food and death often stood in the same place. A crow's call could lead you to a meal, or lead you into the jaws of the thing guarding it. So ancient humans had to learn the difference. A calm bird meant one thing. A mobbing bird meant another.